This is Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Welcome to Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. You have picked another great weekend to join us, as if every weekend isn't a great one to spend some time with us. We love having you. But we look forward to this game every season. It's our all-star game. During the regular season, they're competitors. Now they have to work together to come up with the correct answers to some of our questions. Sometimes that's easier said than done. All of our Elite Eight teams are represented here. They have sent contestants to play. There are a lot of familiar faces, not only from the regular season, but a couple of players who have played in the All-Star game before. So this should be a lot of fun. Let's meet our teams first before we get into some gameplay. They picked their own names. Apparently we've got a West Side Story theme going right here. In fact, halfway through the game, we're going to have a fantastic dance number that we've rehearsed. These players are not only smart, but they have some choreography talent as well. So we'll get to see that a little bit later. Let's meet our players, shall we? Let's start from the far left with the Jets.
All right. I'm Omar Tamomi from Marengo.
I'm David Bertolassi from Belvedere.
I'm Sinesio Morales from Auburn.
I'm James Foster from Belvedere North.
And because of feats of strength that each of our teams have undergone, they've picked their captains. Sinesio is the Jets captain. Let's meet the Sharks, shall we? And we have a very large crowd here. I shouldn't interrupt your applause. Let's start on the left. Introduce yourself and tell us where you're from.
I'm Logan Gustafson from Christian Life.
I'm Sam Asplin from Winnebago.
I'm Billy Fitton from Keith Country Day.
I'm Zayden Boonstra from Morrison.
Welcome to the Sharks. And again, feats of strength, arm wrestling. I'm not sure how you did it, but Sam is the captain. He will serve as captain today. We've met our teams. We're going to take a quick break, take a deep breath, get ourselves collected, and get into some fantastic, which will probably be high-scoring gameplay, knowing these players. We'll be back after this break to begin our questions. All right. Welcome to our all-star weekend here, kind of our break before we head into our consolation game and our finales. All of our Elite Eight teams are represented here. The big thing in this, or the big theme of our game here, is to have fun, right? Not much else on the line other than having fun and, of course, showing how smart you are. You know how that is because we watched you play during the regular season. This game is structured the same as every other game, so we'll begin with the buzz-in. Remember, wait for me to call your name before you answer. Say your answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers. Good luck, contestants. Here we go. Which California city hosted both the 1932 and 1984 Summer Olympics? James.
LA.
That's correct. Also the upcoming 2028 games. The Jets are first on the board. What character featured on the final print cover of Entertainment Weekly was first played by Alec Guinness and is a Jedi Master, Logan?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's right. Jedi Master killed by Darth Vader, now played by Ewan McGregor. What man was the subject of a massive seated sculpture by Daniel Chester? Sinesio?
Lincoln.
That's right. You don't even need the full artist name. Daniel Chester French, surrounded by white columns in a Washington, D.C. memorial. In 1807, tensions between the U.S. and Britain increased when what American frigate was attacked? James?
The Chesapeake?
Yes, attacked and boarded by the HMS Leopard near Virginia. In May 2022, Shot Sage Blue Maryland, a silkscreen painting by what American artist, set a new record when it was sold for 100, Sinesio.
Warhol.
Yes, $195 million, probably better known for his Campbell's soup can art. What city where a British diplomat was kidnapped by the FLQ in the October crisis is home to McGill University and is Quebec's most populous city? David.
Montreal.
That is right, also Quebec's capital. What poem whose elderly narrator vows not to yield was written by Sinesio?
Ulysses.
Yes, Alfred Lord Tennyson has a Latin title referring to the hero of the Odyssey. That Latin title is Odysseus. What Netflix show set in the 1980s starred Alison Brie and Betty Gilpin as members of the Title League for Women Wrestlers? That league is the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, also known as GLOW. What type of animal with impenetrable skin was strangled to death by Heracles? Sinesio.
Nemean lion.
That is correct. In Nemea, and was placed in the night sky as the constellation Leo. What politician became Speaker of the House after his contract with America helped Republicans? Senesio.
Gingrich.
Yes, win control of Congress in the 1994 midterm elections. What structural protein that comprises much of the intermediate filaments in animal cells also makes up horns, feathers? Sam.
Keratin.
That's it. Fingernails and hair was the rest of that list. Sharks got 10 more. A man works as a cab driver to take revenge on two former Mormons in what novel by Arthur Conan Doyle, which introduced Detective Sherlock Holmes? David.
A Study in Scarlet.
You got it. That ended up being 4 novels, nearly 60 short stories with Holmes. What founder of the deist cult of the Supreme Being lost James?
Robespierre.
That's right. Lost power in the Thermidorian reaction after heading the Committee of Public Safety until 1794. Triple digits for the Jets. In 2022, what former White House press secretary under Donald Trump was elected Republican? Omar.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yes, Republican governor of Arkansas. What state whose Lehman Caves and Wheeler Peak are in Great Basin National Park? David?
Nevada.
Yes, shares Lake Tahoe and Death Valley National Park with California. What astronomer developed a tuning fork diagram? Senesio.
Hubble.
That's right. You didn't even need the rest of that. Discovered a law for the recession velocity of distant galaxies. And that's the end of the round. Sorry, we are out of time for that. So kind of a run there at the end for the Jets. They're up to 130. The Sharks have 20. We're only 1 round into a 4-round game. Our next round is called volleyball, and we'll have it for you after this break. All right, this is a fun game. We already have one team that's off to a pretty strong start. The Jets have 130, Sharks have 20. Again, we got the West Side Story theme here going for our All-Star game. All of our Elite 8 teams are represented by these contestants. Before we get to our volleyball round, though, an All-Star game requires an All-Star judge. That's Einar Forsman. He's the retired president and CEO of the Greater Rockford Growth Partnership. In all joking, all of our judges are All-Stars, but Einar, we appreciate your longtime support of Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl, and thanks for being here today. All right, volleyball round. Contestants work as a team, which is, again, kind of fun because during regular season, you guys are on opposite teams, so we'll see how this works together. The first volleyball question goes to Senesio and the Jets. Are you ready? Here we go. What novel in which Basil Hallward creates an object that becomes increasingly loathsome in response to a man's depravity was written by Oscar Wilde?
Picture of Dorian Gray.
Yes, you got it, and I could tell you knew that quickly. Thanks for not interrupting me and letting me finish my question. Sharks, here's your first question. What adjective describes collisions in which momentum is conserved but kinetic energy is not conserved?
Elastic, right? Would it be? Elastic?
Inelastic. Those are inelastic collisions. Back to the Jets. What monarch, who was named the successor of Charles VI in the Pragmatic Sanction, opposed Frederick II in the War of the Austrian Succession?
Maria Theresa.
Yes, that's correct. Marie Antoinette's mom, actually. Jets, 10 more points. Back over to the Sharks. What surname is shared by ventriloquist Edgar Bergen's dummy Charlie and the American author of the novel No Country for Old Men?
McCarthy? McCarthy?
Yes, you got that. Also, right, we're going to move on. Correct. Sorry. Can't read my own writing. Sharks, first points of the round. Let's go back over to Jets. What mountain range has its eastern terminus as the Cap de Creus is the home of Basque people and separates France from the Iberian Peninsula?
Pyrenees.
That's the Pyrenees, right? Iberian Peninsula, of course, Spain and Portugal. Back to the Sharks. What jazz singer discussed her 1939 recording of the anti-lynching song Strange Fruit in an autobiography titled after her album Lady Sings the Blues?
Billie Holiday, right? Holiday?
Yes, you got that. Sam, I think you knew that pretty quickly, too. Billie Holiday. Back to the Jets. What long poem, which is dedicated to Carl Solomon, describes the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness and is by Allen Ginsberg?
Howell.
Yep, correct. Back to the Sharks. In 1943, U.S. forces killed what Japanese admiral who planned and oversaw the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941?
Do you have this? Anyone? Hirohito.
Incorrect. Yamamoto. Back to Jets. What man whose namesake time-independent equation sets H psi equal to E psi proposed a thought experiment about a box with an alive and dead cat?
Schrodinger.
That's right, Erwin Schrodinger and his famous Schrodinger's cat. Sharks. In what class of reactions that includes disproportionation reactions are electrons transferred from one species to another?
I want to say oxidation reduction. Oxidation reduction?
Yeah, you got it. Right before the buzzer. In July 2022, what number went into effect nationwide as a 3-digit toll-free shortcut to mental health hotlines and as a complement to 911?
Is it 411? I think that sounds right. 411?
Incorrect. 988. Boy, parents, you remember 411 when we actually had to dial a number to get information about someone else's phone number? No, 988, often referred to as the 988 lifeline. And that's how we end the round, with a rare no answer between our two teams. Jets still have a strong lead, 180 points. Sharks have 50. We're halfway through our game. We'll be back with the fastest round in the game, the NECA IBEW Lightning Round, after this break. We are halfway through one of our most fun games of the season. It's our all-star game. The Jets and Sharks, again, West Side Story. Jets have 180, Sharks have 50. We'll get into the NECA IBEW Lightning Round right away here because of the flip. The Sharks get our first choice. So Sam, the 3 categories this week are good reading, ABC, or eyes.
Okay, good reading, right? It's just going to be general, and I feel like they'll have an advantage at the end because Sinesio is good carding and good reading. Okay, we're going to do good reading.
All right, you got it. That category is yours. Before we get into the questioning, we want to introduce a new face up here. Rowan is in, representing Morrison. Rowan, thanks for playing our game. All right, Sam, your first question will start the clock. You've got 60 seconds to run these. 100 points will get you, again, within striking distance of the Jets if you run this category. Good reading is the topic. Name these literary works whose titles contain a word that ends in ing. It may not be the last word in that title, but a word in the title ends in ing. So I'll describe the work, you give the title. Are you ready for your first one? And some of these are long, and we've only got 60 seconds. I will try to get through these as quickly as I can. Advice to both teams, you can pass. Sam, are you ready for your first one?
Yes.
Here we go. Name these literary works whose titles contain a word that ends in ing. First sequel to The Hunger Games.
Mockingjay? Catching Fire?
Correct. Absurdist play about Vladimir and Estragon.
Waiting for Godot?
Correct. Shel Silverstein book whose title object becomes a stump.
The Giving Tree?
Correct. Shakespeare play about the ill-tempered Katerina.
Okay. Taming of the Shrew?
Correct. Novel about Janie Crawford by Zora Neale Hurston.
Their Eyes Were Watching God?
Correct. 2018 memoir by Michelle Obama.
Becoming Me?
Incorrect. Stephen King novel set at the Overlook Hotel.
The Shining?
Correct. Irvine Welsh novel about Scottish drug addicts.
No answer.
Third book in Madeleine L'Engle's Time Quintet.
No answer.
Michael Chabon novel about makers of superhero comics.
The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay?
That's correct. We'll give you that. And the only 3 left, you got incorrect. We can't go back to them. That's pretty solid. 70 points for that lightning round. Sinestro, you've got 3 and 30 seconds, so take all the time if you need it. And I will read them as fast as I can to squeeze all of these in. Pass is still an option. Are you ready for your first one?
Yep.
Name these literary works whose titles contain a word that ends in ing. 2018 memoir by Michelle Obama.
Becoming Michelle Obama.
Incorrect. Irvine Welsh novel about Scottish drug addicts.
Anything? Pass.
Third book in Madeleine L'Engle's Time Quintet.
The Ending.
Incorrect. Irvine Welsh novel about Scottish drug addicts.
I don't know. Smoking. Smoking.
Incorrect. It's worth a guess. We'll get to I'll name the 3 that no one got. The Michelle Obama's memoir, you both added words. We needed the exact title. All that title is Becoming. You both had Becoming in there, but because you added words, we couldn't take that because it's the official title we needed. The Irvine Welsh novel about Scottish drug addicts, it actually starred a young Ewan McGregor, that's Train Spotting. And the Michael Chabon novel about makers of, or I'm sorry, the Madeleine L'Engle book, the third in the time quintet, is Swiftly Tilting Planet. So that's one category down, two left to choose from. Sinesio, for you and the Jets, that's ABC or
I
eyes.
don't know what either of them mean, so we'll go with eyes.
You got it. How many eyes do these things or people have? Some answers may be repeated, but none is not an answer. Your answer will never be none. Same rules. 60 seconds is on the clock. Sinesio, are you ready for the first one?
Yep.
How many eyes do these things or people have? Polyphemus in Greek mythology.
1.
Correct. A person who wears glasses in a common saying.
4.
Correct. Shiva in Hinduism.
3. 3.
Correct. Sauron as depicted in Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings films.
1.
Correct.
Nice.
The International Intelligence Agency created by the UK-USA agreement.
2. II. 2.
Incorrect.
Okay.
The Jack of Clubs in a standard 52-card deck.
2. 2.
Correct. Argus, a giant from Greek mythology.
100, right? 100.
Correct. Mike Wazowski in Monsters, Inc.
1.
Correct. Brown recluse spiders, 2 fewer than most spiders.
So 6. 6.
Correct. Odin, after visiting Mimer's Well in Norse myth.
1.
That's right, and there's nothing to go back to. Almost ran the category. 90 points added to your score. Nice job. There's one left for you, Sam, and the team. You have 30 seconds. If you know it, answer right away or take that 30 to deliberate. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How many eyes do these things or people have? The International Intelligence Agency created by the UK-USA agreement.
What? I think it's 1.
Incorrect. It was 5. So here's our scores. We head into the final challenge. The Jets have 270. The Sharks have 120. We'll see how this all-star game ends right after this break. One more round to play in this season's all-star game. The Jets are on top with 270 points. The Sharks, 120. We'll see if this has a West Side Story ending or not. Stay tuned for the dance number that I promised you earlier. Hands on your buzzers, contestants. Same rules as our round one, other than 20 points per question instead of 10. And wait for me to call your name. Before you give an answer, say that answer loudly and clearly. Hands on your buzzers. Good luck. Here we go. What president who sent Marines to occupy Haiti and the Dominican Republic outlined his 14 points? James.
Wilson.
Yes, after leading the U.S. into World War I. The photograph of Earth, known as the Blue Marble, was taken by Harrison Schmitt and Ronald Evans during what final Apollo mission to the moon? Sinesio.
Apollo 13.
Incorrect. I will finish for the Sharks in 1972. Logan.
Apollo 15.
Incorrect. It was 17. Schmitt and Gene Cernan, actually the last 2 people to walk on the moon. What singer who sparked a boycott of Pepsi after the Vatican condemned a commercial featuring her song Like a Prayer? Logan.
Janet Jackson.
Incorrect. I'll finish for the Jets. Also recorded Like a Virgin. David.
Madonna.
That's right. And moms and dads, to make you feel old, Like a Virgin is 38 years old. You're welcome. What man who promoted philanthropy in his 1889 essay, The Gospel of Wealth? Sinesio.
Carnegie.
Yes, a Scottish-American businessman who founded a namesake steel company. What achievement accomplished in June 2022 by singer Jennifer Hudson takes its name for the 4 competitive awards? Rowan.
Ego.
Say that again?
EGOT, the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards.
That is correct. Rockford's Emily Bear is halfway to an EGOT. Sankor Madrasa was a center of learning in what city? Sinesio.
Timbuktu.
Yes, major trading hub of the Mali Empire. What university, which is home to the Ashmolean Museum and the Bodleian Library, publishes an English dictionary and has a rivalry? Rowan.
Oxford.
Yes, rivalry with Cambridge. It's 2 in a row for you. What queen who co-ruled with her stepson Tutmosa III was the second woman? Logan.
Hatshepsut.
Yes, second woman after Sobekneferu to become Egyptian pharaoh. What country's 2022 election to replace President Ivan Duque was won by one-time M19 guerrilla fighter Gustavo Petro, a former leftist mayor of Bogota? Sam.
Peru.
Incorrect. The Jets, go ahead, Sinesio.
Colombia.
Colombia is right. Bogota was a good clue there. What author wrote about Mr. Hooper, a clergyman who, Sinesio?
Hawthorne.
Right, who refuses to let his face be seen by his fellow townspeople in The Minister's Black Veil. What rule that explains the common ion effect is named for a Frenchman and says an equilibrium will shift? Sinesio?
Le Chatelier's principle.
You got it. Will shift to counter a change in concentrations. What adjective of nationality describes a film camera angle set on a diagonal and a treat in which each person pays for himself? David.
Dutch.
That's right. Nice. 3 in a row for the Jets. That's how we finish the game with 430 points. Jets, congratulations. And now to celebrate, they will reenact the opening dance of West Side Story. You see the looks on the, Omar's ready to go. That doesn't surprise anybody, does it? Right? Do some snaps there. But seriously, to all of our contestants here up on the stage, it's a pleasure to watch you play this game, but it's even more exciting to see all of you together on the stage. One more round of applause, not just for these contestants that play, but the fact that all these contestants play for different schools and they came together to play our game today. So one more round of applause for them. Some of you we will see in our next few games. Some of you are graduating, but like I said, it's been a pleasure watching you play, and good luck in your future endeavors. We hope you join us next weekend for the season's consolation game. The winner takes 3rd place in our tournament this season. We'll see you then.